Yo, what's good, everyone? Your boy Deke back again with another vid. You know, we had to talk about this. Steelers receiver James Washington has requested a trade. Former second-round pick in 2018. Had limited playing time last season. And then also so far this preseason. Although, didn't he play a decent amount? Didn't he play like later into the game? But as the fourth receiver on the depth chart, that's not the type of playing time you really want. Let's be real. Can anyone blame him? This is one of those things that was swept under the rug throughout last season for the most part. It's brought up here and there, like whenever we were having the drop issues, people were saying James Washington needs more playing time. But then this whole offseason with Juju re-signing, us having Claypool, Deontay, James Washington was our fourth receiver. He's a former second-round pick, and a lot of people, probably himself included, thinks that he could be at least a 1,000-yard receiver in the league, maybe a bona fide number two. I don't think he can be a number one, but a lot of people have spoken highly about James Washington. I could attest because Arthur Moats has talked about him on the podcast. That was even last season, throughout this offseason, saying like, bro, our receiver depth is amazing. We have James Washington as a number four. He could be the number two for a ton of teams around the league. But yeah, I don't blame him. You got to think he's not going to get that much opportunity here in Pittsburgh. He's already slotted in to be receiver number 4 this season. Juju, Claypool, Deontay. And then we also drafted Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth. Next year, okay, if Juju doesn't resign, there's still always going to be Deontay and Claypool, and then also Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth. So what option is he going to be? Anywhere between the 4th and 5th option, game in and game out. So to prove yourself, make money, and show your value around the league, being on the Steelers as a receiver at this point in time, unless you're one of the top 3, probably isn't the best case scenario. James Washington has proven to be a really solid receiver for the Steelers. We thought he was going to be taking that jump in his second year. We thought he was going to hit that 1,000-yard receiving mark. It was either between him and Dante Moncrief. Moncrief got out of there really quick with those drops, but then James Washington started to come on strong later in the season. It wasn't the season we were expecting just because Big Ben wasn't playing, but for him to salvage a little over 700 yards and lead the team in receiving, I think that says something. But then we go on to draft Chase Claypool. Juju has been a staple in the offense for how many years, and Deontay is a budding star in my opinion. So those are tough receivers that you got to be competing against if you're James Washington. I don't know what the move is going to be. I assume it's going to happen. I would love to keep James Washington, but that's me being a selfish Steeler fan because it doesn't hurt to have him as our wide receiver number 4 if anyone gets hurt or whatnot. But for his sake, and I think the Steelers aren't going to try to hold this one back from happening. I just don't know what the trade is right now. Is it for a player? I would assume an inside linebacker, maybe a left tackle. I'm guessing it's going to be a draft pick. Now, what is that compensation? I'm thinking back to when Mohamed Sanu was traded. Similar in a way. Definitely in that wide receiver number 2, wide receiver number 3 range. James Washington has more potential, though. I think Washington, at this point in his career, has a lot more hype and potential surrounding him. We've heard what Dez Bryant has said. Whereas Mohamed Sanu, we knew what he was. I don't think he was ever going to really approach 1,000 yards. Just sucks, man. I don't know what else there is to it. Ben advocated for him to get more playing time last year. He said, if I need a tough ball, I need a tough catch, I'm going to James Washington. Like I said at the beginning, a lot of people have spoken really highly on James Washington, saying he's a really, really good receiver. It's just that he's kind of hidden in the mix right now amongst the Steeler receivers that we have. So I'm assuming this is going to happen. I wish James Washington the best of luck. I don't know when it's going to happen. Sooner rather than later would probably be optimal because he's already shown his displeasure about being on the team. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things where no one was talking about it. We didn't know if James Washington was happy in this situation or not. Steeler fans, Steelers organization, we're just kind of sitting back and saying, hey, we have a dude that may be 1,000-yard receiver as our wide receiver number 4. I mean, we'll take it. We'll take it. It's really good depth for us. But is Washington happy? He hasn't said anything up to that this point. And finally, he has, per source, stated his displeasure with the situation. I don't think it's anything malicious or with bad intent. He's just looking out for himself. He's in a big contract year and is looking to show to the league that he could be a stud receiver. So I don't blame him at all. He's been great for the Steelers organization. He's been a great receiver. And wish him nothing but the best. Let me know what you guys think in terms of trades, your reaction, whatever it is down below in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Stay chilling. Peace.